I am a certified school psychologist.
Hi, Dr. Umar. I'm so happy that you're my principal. I love FDMG. Can you tell me about the school?
We are going to make history. We are going to shock the world. We are going to transform the entire community, one black boy at a time. In this school, you don't have to worry about special education. In this school, you don't have to worry about ADHD diagnoses. In this school, you will never get a phone call from a teacher or an administrator telling you that your child needs dangerous psychiatric medication in order to get an education.
All right, thank you all so much for tuning on in. I appreciate your presence. We got quite a bit to get into today. I'm trying to get a quick live stream in here. Quick Press Chats Undefeated. Let's get into it. Let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG, it's coming. 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 Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right. Thank you all so much for tuning on. I hope y'all doing all right. Hope you had a good weekend. I'm gonna try to have a short show today. Downloading this file that I meant to download it earlier. We're at 59%. It's 6 gigabytes, and this is a Pocket Watch with JT's review of Spencer Cornelia's video. But he also shares some important information that I want to get into here today, and I have some receipts to kind of back some of the things up that he said inside of that excellent live stream that he did the other day. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Head over to Pocket Watcher with JT. Shout out to Pocket Watcher JT. Also, shout out to Spencer Cornelia and everyone else. There's been more and more people lately who've been covering Umar Johnson. I'm just looking over here if you guys don't mind. I'm trying to see if I can find something, but let me focus. We must stay focused. Shout out to everyone who's taken the time to start to address Umar more consistently. And I'm thankful that Spencer did the video and that JT did the video because it fuels me. I've been at this for quite some time, and it can get rough and tough, and I've dealt with a lot, and then it can be lonely sometimes too. KKC has been consistent as well, so we give a shout out to him. Another person is Make a Change. But there are times where I get a little, tired. So to hear other people, especially people who have much larger platforms in mind, speak on Umar, it's very encouraging. So I want to thank everyone who has done that, and I appreciate it. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to review Pocket Watcher with JT's review of Spencer Cornelia's video, and then we're going to watch a little bit more of Pocket Watcher with JT's video, and then I'm going to pull up some more receipts to take a look at. And then if we have some time, then I'll put the link in if anyone wants to call in. There is a poll too, by the way. And the reason why I put this poll up, and I put polls up that are similar to this one, but I decided to put this poll up because of what I'm working on right now. I'm deep into this documentary on Umar. Okay, Cookie Crush Chat. When I say deep in, I'm in that mode. And I've been in that mode in the past when I've done documentaries, but I'm deep into it. So I've been compiling a timeline. I have all types of notes all over the place. I'm compiling all of that too. And I'm thinking of don't hold me to it, but maybe within the next 2 weeks, having the first part, the rough draft available. I may premiere it for members first and then get some feedback and then maybe work on a little bit more. and then premiere that first part here on YouTube. Ultimately, I'll premiere all of the parts, and it'll have a soundtrack and everything. That's way, way later on down the line. And each iteration of each part will be a little bit more refined until we get to the conclusion. But I put together some timelines that I want to, maybe I'll pull it up during this live stream for us to take a look at too. Let me just check this, the poll. If you haven't voted on the poll, please do so. Okay, and again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Everyone started Click Crest Chat. You are undefeated. Thank you all so much for all the support. Okay, thank you for being here. We have 250 votes so far. And the poll question is, when did Umar Johnson first conceptualize FDMG? I've asked a similar question in the past, but I want you guys to think about that. Conceptualize. That means in his mind, he thought, okay, I'm going to do this thing that we call, and I'm going to call it FDMG. By the end of this live stream, I'll answer that question. Some of you guys already know the answer. As of right now, 258 votes, 68% say 2005, 22% say 2010, 9% say 2014, and 1% say 2019. Now, these 4 dates are very important. 2005, I'm just kind of buying some time quickly, Chris. That's so Black Mario, Queen Naima. Buying some time as this file downloads. 2005, my ISP, they've been working on the fiber optics in this era, so my internet hasn't, hopefully we can get through this live stream. 2005, 2010, and 2014 and 2019. These are very important dates in the Umar Johnson timeline. Okay, so let me just put this up on the screen. Okay, 2005, that goes back, Umar put in his resignation letter with the UNIA. I will address that in the documentary. 2010 is when Umar made the announcement on his Facebook page that the school was going to open September 11, 2013. 2014 is when Umar started the campaign for the St. Paul's College. A lot of people don't even know about that. A lot of Umar Johnson followers don't even know about that. And then 2019 was when he purchased these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. It was February of 2019. And here we are 5.5 years later, and there's still no functioning school. The other thing I want to say is that for anyone who thinks that Umar is going to open up a school, understand that he already admitted that the school was not going to be accredited. So what that means is that, and Umar thinks like this, he thinks that he's going to do whatever he wants to. It's his way or the highway, no government oversight. He doesn't have to abide to any rules or regulations outside of certain inspections that need to take place so that he can get his quote unquote certificate of occupancy. You don't even talk about that anymore because it's a sham, it's a scam. But understand that Umar in his mind, he doesn't want to have any type. That's why he thinks independent is totally independent. And I know why he thinks that way too. Let me see if I remember to come back to this. Somebody remind me. Okay, James remind me, Black Wolf remind me, Black Anonymous remind me, Independence Day. Just type that in there and I'm going to explain that in just a moment. But with Umar, he in his mind, he thinks that independent means that there's not going to be any government oversight, which also means that it's not going to be accredited. So what that means is that if in fact he has a graduating class, which will take, if he opened this year, it would take roughly 8 years because he's supposed to start with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. He says something like that. It's going to take about roughly 8 years to where he has his first graduating class. That graduating class at that school, each student is going to be paying $500 a month too, by the way. When they get their diploma, the diploma will not be acknowledged as being relevant. It's just a piece of paper because the school's not accredited. It's no different than any of you guys opening up a so-called school. And let's say if you do it in your basement or you do it inside of your living room or you do it on the 1st floor, on the 2nd floor, on the 3rd floor, or let's say you do it, at a community center, you rent out some space there and just you call it a school and anyone can come and you just, in this case, Umar, they have to pay you $500 a month. That's a good deal. But there's no oversight. So whatever you do there, it's not going to matter to these children. So the children that quote unquote graduate, it's not really a true graduation, as it were. Their diploma won't matter. If they want to apply to college, it won't matter. If they want to apply to a certain job, it won't matter either. What they would have to do is, in order to do the college, they would have to do testing, or if they want to get a job and they ask for a diploma or a GED, they would have to go and get a GED. So it doesn't even matter, you Umar Johnson followers. It doesn't matter if next week Umar opens up something. He already stated that it won't be accredited, and if it's accredited, then the whole conversation about this FDMG school scam, it's in terms of its viability, its relevancy, and its legitimacy. The conversation is over, and it was over a long time ago. And see, I can see Umar doing something like this. he'll act like he has a school open. He has some kids up there, and he'll have some Pookie up there or something, Pookie and Pookie's mama up there, and they'll act like they're teaching like 2 or 3 kids. There'll still be wires hanging out the ceiling and shit, but he'll act like it. And the Umar Johnson cult followers, they will eat it up. They always do. They always do. And that is so unfortunate because this thing has been going on for such a long time. Again, these 4 dates are very important: 2005, 2010, 2014, and 2019. Okay, what's up, Diaz? Thank you so much for tuning on in. Iceman Vamp, God's Little Princess, and Jay the Informant. Yeah. Let me check on this file so we can get into this for today. Okay, it is finished. Great. All right, let me pull it up then. Let me go ahead and pull this file up and we'll get right on into the show. All righty. It should be on my desktop. It's not on my desktop. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so this one, and then I want to pull up one other one that we'll get into today as well. Okay. So we're going to review at least part of Pocket Watcher. Shout out to Pocket Watcher with JT as part of Pocket Watcher and JT's video. And there's some very important information that he actually brings up, and I want to discuss some of that. And then we're going to watch a video. It says Dr. Umar's he responds to Pocket Watcher and JT and to Spencer Cornelia. But I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't watched the video, so we'll have to wait and see. I did see Pocket Watching with JT's video for sure. Okay, so let's get into this. Thank y'all so much too for being patient today. I appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this video up. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio.
This is Pocket Watching with JT, the call-in financial talk show with certified financial planner Jason Thornton, a real financial advisor specializing in tax and retirement planning. This is
See, I have some questions too about this tax situation. So I got some receipts I want to pull up. Let me skip to the part. Here we go right here.
Reacting to this recent video that Spencer Cornelia did on the good doctor, Dr. Umar Johnson. And shouts out to Spencer. Big shouts out to Spencer. Spencer has supported my content since the early days when I first started this whole YouTube thing. He gave me a shout out very early in this YouTube channel lifestyle stuff. And, you know, throughout the time of me being on YouTube, he has given me several shout outs in different videos that he did. He did a collab. I did a collab with him over there on that channel. So big shout out to Spencer. And we're going to react to his video. But before
let me get to the video. Here we go. Okay, we reviewed this the other day. This is Spencer Cornelia, so I'm gonna skip through this too. You guys can check it out on Spencer Cornelia, his YouTube page. It's over 100,000 views already. It's probably about 150 by now. He's a huge YouTuber. So let's skip through there because I really want to get to Pocket Watcher with JT, his commentary. Okay, here we go right here.
Like some of these other people, the Pocket Watcher, I've been covering this story for a while too, and I want to dig into the numbers real quick. But I just want to make something clear because I think some people get a little confused, okay? One of the things that Dr. Umar Johnson says when people ask him questions about what's going on with the money, he normally says something to the effect of, well, if you did not donate, then he doesn't owe you any answers, right?
Yeah, he says that a lot. Did I say Don Cornelius? I apologize. If I said Don Cornelius, when I apologize. I meant to say Spencer Cornelius. Cornelia, okay? I'm tripping. If I said that, I apologize. Enterprise, what's up, man? He said, Lemon, I'm back for good. FDMG coming. Umar supporters, please wake up. Scams need to stop. Let's see. I graduated with a psych bachelor's 724. Congratulations. We got another graduate in the building. Everyone give a shout out to Enterprise Entertainment. Congratulations. There's so many people I even picked up a degree throughout this cycle. Okay, it's right back over there. But let's give a shout out to Enterprise Entertainment for getting his bachelor's degree in psychology. And that was done just 2 months ago. Okay, congratulations to you. Everyone, please give him a shout out. Okay, we're proud of you. Okay, you're still young too, right? Okay, that's good. you got one. You ain't old like me. That's awesome. Okay, great to hear. Great to hear. That's Soul Train I was talking about earlier. Everyone, and thanks for the super chat too. I appreciate it. Yeah, let me. People are giving congratulations. We always got to give people. Psych majors. So how's it going, Laurie? Queen Capricorn's in the building as well. Congratulations. Congrats. Dee says congratulations. Diam is clapping it up. Nicole, congratulations. Julia says tap. What's up, James? Your kids will see this. Says congrats, Robin. This is what I love about the Good Crush chat. Daryl says congrats. Gazo Princess, how's it going, Gazo Princess? Enterprise Entertainment is giving you a shout out as well. The Queen Scorpion Oshun says, to me too. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Okay. Patrick Jenkins says congratulations. Yeah, but you can't psychologize them all them on the corner. Enterprise, just remember that. Okay. What's up, D? What's up, Wendell? Okay. Carlita también. All right. You did too? Why is everybody graduating on the same day? Congratulations to Laurie as well. What's up, Black Anonymous? Ray's in the building. Yeah, you can psychologize Umar now. Okay, all right, let's get back to the show. We gonna get carried. What's up, Techie? Josh was in the building. Ray Ruse. Someone said I donated just to see if he'd let me in on his Krabby Patty secret financial recipe. End of story. We got his account banned and got the money back. Really? So I think you're saying you donated to Umar to see if he let. Yeah, he used to tell people that if you donate, then he'll give you information about the financial situation. But that's a lie. There's plenty of people. There's people in here who donate to Umar. They never got any information. There's people who've done videos on Umar that they've donated and they're upset. You know, they haven't gotten any information. The school's still not here. It's been over a decade since he started collecting money for the St. Paul school scam. And people are fed up. But no, he just says that to people because he doesn't want to answer those questions. In fact, that's really what I should have started off with today. I posted, I think it was 10 questions on my community tab that every interviewer should ask Umar Johnson. And the thing is that's 10 questions out of, I think, 25 pertinent questions. I would say primary questions, but I picked 10 that I felt were most pertinent. And let me just read those to everyone real quick. So 10 questions that every interviewer should ask Umar Johnson. I'm sorry, am I right here? Where did I go? Oh, here I am. Okay. And thanks for that comment too. Plenty of other congrats inside the building too. Enterprise. Okay, we got so much love in the Good Crush chat. Ball is still. Julie's in the building. QTZ. What's up, QTZ? Mixers. Monica's in the building. Laura. Sports Bet. Yeah, if y'all can like the video and hit and vote too as well. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, double congrats. He had a Laurie and people give me okay, let me get out this chat because we're gonna be in here for the rest of the. So 10 questions that every interviewer should ask Umar Johnson. Number one, how much money have you collected since May of 2014? There's times he said he started in April. There's times he said he started in May. I'll say May because that's specifically for the St. Paul's college. He was collecting money for other stuff too prior to that, going all the way back to 2009. How much donation money do you have left? He doesn't answer these questions. In fact, the last time he answered the question, how much money have you collected? I think he said $750,000. But years before that, years before that, he said that he was already at $1 million. Okay, so he said 750,000. That was, I think it was in 2018. I mean, he hasn't updated people in about 6 years. I could be wrong on that. I know where I can find it. It's in my documentary. The first one. Working on the second one now. Question number 3, how much money do you need to complete renovations on the small school and small gym? Number 4, how much money will you need each year to cover school operation costs? He doesn't know that either. He doesn't have a plan. He never had a plan. He didn't have a plan prior to purchasing these abandoned buildings in the first place. So he didn't have his 401(c) status, his tax-exempt status when he purchased these abandoned buildings. He admits that too. I have the video where he admits that. 5, how will you raise the money to pay school operation costs? Number 6, why did you report to the IRS that you did not collect any donations for fiscal years 2020 and 2022? Okay, Pocket Watcher with JT, he covers that. We've covered that too. 7, do you have a board of directors? Which the answer is no. how much will your tuition be per student? And it's $500. Okay, I know that because he did a Big Papa podcast years ago, and that's when he said that the tuition is going to be $500 per student. Now, question number 9: the FDMG school buildings are located in an impoverished community. How will impoverished parents come up with $500 a month so that their child can attend FDMG? They won't be able to. Okay. And then the last question, 10. In August of 2023, you stated that all systems were renovated. If renovations were completed in 2023, why are you still renovating in 2024? Because he lied back in 2023. He's a habitual liar. Excuse me. The reason why he lied was because he wanted to give the illusion of progress to people, his followers. And he knew that if he said that renovations were complete, then people would send him more money. But he lied. That was over a year ago. And he's still talking about doing floors. He's still talking about painting. He's still talking about he needs a roofer. He's still talking about the walls. He's still talking about the ceilings, ceiling tiles and all kind of other stuff too. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the video. Here we go.
If you didn't donate, I don't know you any answers. But see, there's a problem with that. That's not what the law says. Okay. If you are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, you owe everybody answers, regardless if they donated or they didn't donate. You owe everyone answers. If anyone, regardless if they donated or not, if anyone requests a copy of your financials or a copy of your tax return, you have to give it to them, no matter what. So if Dr. Umar, if you're watching or if someone tells you this, listen, you got to stop telling people that they have to donate in order to get access to the financial records. That's incorrect, right? And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to get into your financial records real quick. So I've been doing my digging for a while, and I want to show you guys the actual letter that Dr. Umar Johnson received for his nonprofit organization. Now, strap in. It's going to take me a second to kind of go through all this stuff, all right? Strap in, get yourself set up and ready for this because there's a lot going on here, all right? Now, when I'm done with my notes, I'm going to start taking on callers. There is a link pinned to the chat, okay? There's a link pinned in the chat. You can hit that link. You can call in. The second I'm done, I'm going to start taking callers. You might as well start lining up now. But I want y'all to see something here. Pay close attention to this. This is the letter that the IRS sent Dr. Umar, giving him approval as a 501c3 public charity. Now, I want you to notice something here. The date on this says April the 20th, 2020. Now,
this is the second time. Okay, I've talked about this in the past, years ago. In fact, this is the second EIN that he set up. He just changed the name, but there was a one before this. Pocket Watcher explains this too, but there's one before this that it was revoked. And I think that was in 2017 it was revoked. And the reason why is because Umar wasn't filing the proper paperwork with the IRS. And if you don't do it for 3 successive years, then your 501(c) status is revoked. And he didn't even, it was something else too, because I remember it wasn't a 501(c), and I do remember seeing that years ago, but Pocket Watcher with JT, he addressed that too. The point is though, that he wasn't reporting all the money that he started to collect in 2014. Remember I showed those dates earlier, 2014 with the St. Paul school scam? He wasn't reporting any of that. So if you don't report for a certain amount of years, and the truth is that he didn't have tax exempt status in 2014. At a certain point, I would think probably in 2015 is when he got his tax exempt status. He didn't report for 3 successive years. And I could find out for sure too, because I have all this in my older notes, 2015, 16, and 17, so that by the time he gets to 2019, he doesn't have tax exempt status because it was revoked. And then in 2019, he purchased these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. And that's why once he purchased those abandoned buildings, he had to pay property taxes. He didn't have tax exempt status because the previous EIN, the tax exempt status associated with the previous EIN number, it was revoked. Okay. And so he sets up another one. And this is this one right here in April of 2022. but it's not retroactive. In other words, it doesn't take in account 2019. And I have a sense that it didn't take in account 2020 because he received taxes for that year too, property taxes for that year. It goes to show you that Umar never had a plan. When he started the St. Paul school scam in 2014, he didn't have tax exempt status. I can pull up the video and show it to you all. If you want me to, hit the one. He didn't have tax exempt status in 2014. He was like, well, because they had asked him in an interview. I remember he had on the suit. It was like a blue color suit, and he has on a nice little glasses. He's trying to look all proper and stuff. Starts taking out little notebooks and stuff, paper notebooks, and talking about the donors. I remember this. The point is that in that interview, he states in 2014 that he didn't have tax exempt status. The thing is that when Umar learned about the St. Paul's auction, it was like fly by night. He didn't have a plan. It was just something that he wanted to do because he wanted to try to get it, but he didn't have any money. He didn't have a team. That's why when he went down there to shoot the video to promote it, there was no one down there but him and the cameraman. That was it. See, he didn't have a board of directors then. He didn't have any type of business strategy. He didn't have a plan. He didn't have a timeline. He didn't have a business plan, nothing. He didn't have a financial plan. He just started begging for money. That was way back in 2014, but he didn't have tax exempt status. That's why when you look at it, if you look at his own tax lien, federal tax liens, and I have it right here. I can show you. For 2000, the filing date, origin filing date was March 17th of 2016. He owed $41,641 in tax liens. See, because he wasn't reporting to the IRS. It's really interesting how all this works. He wasn't even reporting to the IRS. So this income, it would have been considered to be personal income. And that's the question that I really have for Pocket Watching with JT. All the money that he collected when he didn't have the tax exempt status, that would be considered to be personal income, right? Yeah. So I have that over here. He had other tax liens too. There was another one. It was a civil filing. This is another lien for $500. I think that's when he was evicted. There was another lien, small claims judgment for $1,233. There's also a state lien for $4,073. That was in 2017. There was also another state lien in 2017 in the amount of $4,367. And there was another state tax lien in 2016. Okay, remember, this was in Umar's heyday when he was collecting all that money for $1,430. Okay. And I know probably some of you Umar Johnson followers are saying you're just making that up. Well, here, I'll just show it real quick, then we get back to the video. We're trying to have a short show today. There you go. See this one right here? $41,641. If you have a tax lien in that amount of money, how much money do you all think that Umar had raised in 2016? Think about that for a moment. 41,641, a federal tax lien in 2016. Here's 500 for a civil new filing. I think that's when he was evicted. I have the eviction paperwork too. I can pull that up too, but I think that if memory serves me correct, I could be wrong on that. So don't hold me to that. And then here's some liens, and actually I covered this a long time ago. Here's some small claims judgment. This is for $1,233. Okay, that's in 2008. He's always been financially irresponsible and destitute too, by the way. Here's a state tax lien for $4,073 in 2017. Here's another state tax lien, 2017 for $4,360. And this may actually be the same one, but there's probably fees and interest that has accrued. I could be wrong on that. Wait a minute. No, that wouldn't. Nope. That's not true. That's not true. These two separate ones. I don't understand why he would have two in the same year. Ain't no telling. And then here's another state tax lien in the amount of $1,430. And this was in 2016. Remember in 2014, remember I showed that day, 2014, he was collecting money for the St. Paul school scam. By the end of 2016, he had already raised $1 million. I can pull that receipt up too. And then there's also some other stuff with, but that's neither here nor there, where he's getting traffic tickets, but that's irrelevant. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Is this it? Yeah.
was taking my notes from that video, and it said that he started around 2014.
Yep.
2014 is when Dr. Umar, around that time, that's when he started raising funds for this school.
Okay, and specifically for the St. Paul's College. Okay, he raised money under the banner of FDMG prior to that, going all the way back to 2009. But specifically for the St. Paul school scam, that was in 2014, April or May, because he said both months. And that's as I'm doing my research. It's funny how Umar don't even know. He just be like, Louis X says some of those liens are drug debts. The dealers aren't deleting customers bad for business. Now they're taking it. Yeah, Your Honor. Who are you? I'm the plug. All right. I'm the plug, sir. Now let me stop. Thanks, Louis Luck, for the super chat. That's wild. They take them to court now, huh? Okay. Let's get going here because I've been running my mouth too much. You're 30 minutes in. We've got about 700 people, but thank y'all so much for tuning on here. Let's go.
So you got to ask yourself the question.
I'm sorry. Thanks, Louis Luck, for the super chat. Here we go.
He started in 2014, and they said that he got between $250,000 and $400,000 in 2015. That's what it said in the video.
Okay, he's referring to two things. One is the PayPal. There's a PayPal video where Umar says, I can pull it up. Let me pull that up because people have been complaining. You always say you're going to pull it up and then you don't. Like I don't have the receipts. Don't worry, I got the receipts. Everything that I say, I can back it up with proof. And the reason why I don't pull up everything is simply because it would take way too much time. I mean, these shows, I think for some of these shows are really, really long. Why is it oh, here it is right here. It's still on YouTube too, by the way, but I'm going to pull it up in my my archive here. Here, I'll show it right here. So we can do the math on this. Here we go.
Oh, we doing okay. PayPal sabotaged us, y'all. Let me tell you how PayPal sabotaged. I called PayPal before I started using PayPal for the school fundraising. And I didn't want to use PayPal, but lazy Negroes kept talking about why I just can't make an online donation. Take your lazy ass to the post office and get a stamp. But anyway, they kept on bugging me, so I said, okay, let me do this PayPal. Now, I called PayPal first. I said, listen, I don't have tax-exempt status yet. I won't have it to the end of the year.
See that? And this isn't the only video where Umar stated, matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go pull up, I won't show it, but let me go pull up this video on YouTube. I remember this was, it was January of 2016, I think. Let me see. PayPal. It's still online. It's still up here. This was January of did I say 2000? I said 2000. Boy, I tell you, that's a boy. I can't remember all kind of stuff, but I can remember these dates. Not like Umar can, but I remember this scammer. PayPal Gasol. Anyway, this video was it appeared on YouTube January 19, 2015, but it could have been recorded prior. Well, it probably was recorded before this, so it could have been recorded in 2014. But let's say 2015. And he started in 2014, May. So we can say April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, in 8 months on PayPal, he raised this amount of money. Let's see what he says.
And I don't want y'all to freeze my account. If y'all going to freeze my account, I don't even want to start with PayPal.
This also shows that after 8 months of collecting money, he still didn't have tax exempt status. You guys follow me on this? Hit the one. Okay, this is after 8 months in 2015. Umar still didn't have tax exempt status.
They told me you should be fine. Now check this out. We raised $25,000. PayPal don't say nothing. We raised $50,000. PayPal don't say nothing. We raised $100,000. PayPal don't say nothing. So when I get to $125,000, they freeze my damn account.
Okay, y'all got that?
Them, I said, listen.
$125,000. That was raised in just 8 months, just on PayPal alone. That's what I'm saying. This guy, he's way over $2.6 million by now. Okay. If this guy raised $125,000 just on PayPal alone in 8 months, how much y'all think he raised with all the cash apps, the checks and money orders and the cash over the last decade? Come on now. People need to cut it out. Keith says, Brother Lenon, today's secret password is month. That's my password for everything. This month. That's what I put, this month. Try to get into my Yahoo as this month. Okay? Yeah. Umar said he don't say month. He says month. And he loves saying months. It's one of the, snow bunnies and months. Those are the two words Umar loves saying over and over. I remember one time we did a live stream, it was years ago. I said, why does this guy say month so much? Just don't say it. He can't help himself. He don't say it 3 times, at least, but he said it over and over again. Thanks, Keith, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, where were we here? So let's be clear. Umar raised, in 8 months, he had raised $125,000. And then on the GoFundMe, and this was over the course of a couple of years. I can pull it up. I'm going to have this all inside of my timeline as I'm putting together this documentary. He had raised roughly $416,000 by the time it closed. But I think the last screenshot that I have was like he was at $406,000. But $406,000, just to say $400,000. So during that time period, he was already over $500,000. Okay, he was way over that though too, because PayPal, that's just only for 8 months. The GoFundMe was going for a couple of years. But the point is that he was already, just those 2 things alone, is over $500,000. $400,000 pays for these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. This guy's he should have been, when he purchased these abandoned buildings, he should have been sitting on. He said he had collected $1 million at the end of 2016, let's say 2017. That was 3 years, 2 more years. Let's just say, just as an estimate, another 500,000. He should have been sitting on $1.1 million at least. And here we are 5 years later. That's crazy. 5 years later. Thanks, Keith, for a super chat. Okay, let's get back to the video. So that's what Pocket Watcher with JT is talking about right here. Here we go.
So if he collected anywhere between $250,000 to a little under $500,000 in 2014, why is it that he didn't get approval as a nonprofit organization until 2020?
Because he didn't have a plan, like I was saying earlier. Umar, it was fly by night. The whole situation was fly by night. He in his mind, he was going to raise, because the starting bid, if memory serves me correctly, Black Anonymous, correct if I'm wrong, I thought it was $2.5 million. I thought it was 2.5. I could be wrong on that, somewhere around there. But he didn't have any money. I mean, if he's getting tax liens and shit during that time, I mean, evictions and stuff during that, he didn't have no money. So even the idea that he's going to collect, and it was like, he had like a couple of months to get this money together. Literally, it was like a couple of months to get $2.5 million together. So it's just fly by night. I can't remember if it was 2.5. It might have been 1 million. I can't remember. Okay, if Black Anonymous is still here, you would know. Just let me know in the chat room. Anyway, let's keep going here. Let me let this play for a little bit.
That would be a good question. I think I have the answer.
Yeah.
This is not the first organization that Dr. Umar Johnson started.
Mm-hmm.
I just need you to follow me here. This is the organization that he started, or at least got 501c3 status.
I'm trying to get the right
April 2020. That is not the first organization. Notice the name. The name is Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Leadership Academy. All right. Now, what many people don't know is this organization here, Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Leadership Academy, was the academy that I believe he started around 2014.
Yeah, and the thing is that it wasn't in 2014. It couldn't have been, because he was saying that he didn't have tax exempt status in 2015. See, Umar didn't have a plan. I would think that it was probably in 2015 when he finally got tax exempt status for the first time. So you got 3 years to report. He would have to report for 2015, 2016, and 2017. Okay. And I actually have all this. I mean, these are old. I would have to go way back into my old, not publisher. What is it called? I'm tripping. PowerPoint, my old PowerPoint presentations from years ago. He would, if it was in 2015, he would have to report for 2015, 2016, 2017. And after that, it's going to be revoked if you don't report it for 3 successive years. We can extend that. Let's even say 2015, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so when tax exempt status is revoked in 2019, when he purchases abandoned buildings, he doesn't have tax exempt status again. And that's why he had to pay property taxes. See, Umar never had a plan, and he still doesn't have a plan. It's crazy.
Just stick with the logic here. Stick with the logic here. Why is there 2 organizations? Why isn't there just...
Yeah, hold on. Let me get these comments from Black Anonymous, because this is important, because I know I screwed it up. Let me see. I'm trying to see where if you put the amount. Yeah, for St. Paul's, the realtor said he needed access to another 10 to 12 million to repair the St. Paul's. Okay, Umar gonna need it. Yeah, but what was the starting bid? I'm sorry, I thought it was 2.5. St. Paul's College auction, and we just covered it. I think last week or the week before that. Starting bid. In fact, I thought I pulled up the actual flyer. Yeah, I put up the flyer for that. Okay, 1.5 million to 2 million. Okay, I screwed it up. I apologize. I thought it was 2 million, 2.5. Let's go with 1.5. I can pull it up. I actually have the receipt. I showed it a couple of weeks ago. How's it going, Erica? Thanks for tuning on in. I appreciate it. Okay, let's keep going. Here we go.
Just one organization. This is what I believe.
I'm sorry.
This one was started probably around 2014. The problem is it is no longer in good standing with the IRS. The IRS has revoked the nonprofit status of this organization in 2017. August the 16th, 2017 is when the IRS posted online that Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Leadership Academy is no longer a nonprofit in good standing. Now, you may be asking the question, well, JT, if you have a nonprofit organization and for whatever reason that nonprofit organization loses its status, what do you do to get it back in good standing? That is a good question. Really good question, because I do this for some of my nonprofit clients. Now, the reason, according to this website, and this is the IRS website, so I tend to believe this website, the reason that this organization that was started by Dr. Umar Johnson, the reason why it lost its 501c3 status is because Dr. Umar failed to provide the financial information to the IRS. If you're a nonprofit organization, you still have to file an informational tax return. You don't pay tax on.
See, this is such an important point. See, this is stuff like I didn't know this right here. Okay. Let me replay this. This is his expertise. That's why this video is so important. Check this out.
Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG Leadership Academy is no longer a nonprofit in good standing. Now, you may be asking the question, well, JT, if you have a nonprofit organization and for whatever reason that nonprofit organization loses its status, what do you do to get it back in good standing? That is a good question. Really good question, because I do this for some of my nonprofit clients. Now, the reason, according to this website, and this is the IRS website, so I tend to believe this website, the reason that this organization that was started by Dr. Umar Johnson, the reason why it lost its 501c3 status is because Dr. Umar failed to provide the financial information to the IRS. If you're a nonprofit organization, you still have to file an informational tax return. You don't pay tax on the money, but you have to provide them information. You have to let them know how much money came in, how much money went out, who were you paying? Did you pay yourself money? This is the type of information that you have to provide to the IRS. This organization, I believe the first nonprofit that Dr. Umar Johnson started, this one provided no information whatsoever, okay? The IRS will normally allow you to go 3 years without providing information to them before they take your 501.
Yeah, now this is interesting. We've talked about this too, but what's interesting is that the revocation date that's listed there is 2017. I think it says May 15th, if I can see that clearly. May 15th of 2007. I actually have it. Yeah, it's January, February, March, April, May 15th of 2017, 46-5207643. But the point is that if it goes into revocation in 2017, then he should have had tax exempt status for 3 years prior to that, right? Unless something took place and that would take him back to 2014. There's no way, because in the video where Umar's talking about January, March, April, May, yeah, there's no way. Something else must have happened, because that would have been within the 3-year window. He didn't have tax exempt status in 2015, the start of 2015, when he did the PayPal video. So something else must have been going on. Okay, so it's not the issue of 3 years, because it wouldn't have been 3 years. Does this make sense to anybody? I'm just thinking about this now. I'll be able to figure all this out more clearly as I work through these timelines that I've been working on, and I'll share some of that with you guys in just a moment. Let me show you guys, just to be clear. Here is it was a sealed bid auction, St. Paul's College, but the sealed bid, I explained that in the videos a couple of weeks ago, I think, what that actually means. But this was the starting bid, was $2.5 million. That's what I said earlier. So I was right. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I always ask it. I thought, no, did I say? I can't remember what I said now. I thought I said 1 million or 1.5, whatever it was. I might still be wrong. The point is that to start, you have to come up with $2.5 million. But Umar, he was going to get that done. And let's see, the bid was going to take place April 9th. If he starts in May, I've heard him actually say April too. This is crazy. If he starts in May of 2014, then he has basically a month. Think about this. He had a month to get $2.5 million. There's no way. See, it was a scam from the beginning. And in that video in 2014, we're gonna have to watch some of that. We're gonna have to at least watch some of it, because it'll put so many of these pieces together. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go pull it up right now. This was an interview in 2014. It's still online too. Let me pull this up. It's not coming up for some reason. Maybe it's not in this. No, it should be. No. I know why. Hold on 1 second, everyone. It was an update video. You can look on Google. I mean, on YouTube. It's the St. Paul's update video, something to that effect. Yeah, give me 1 second. In fact, let me go ahead and pull it up on YouTube. It'll make it easier for me to find, because I'll know exactly what it's called. I should have just pulled it up in my notes, but whatever. Umar Johnson, St. Paul's update. Oh, maybe it's not up there anymore. Oh, here it is right here. Leadership Academy fundraiser. That's what it is, fundraiser. Okay. Leadership Academy fundraiser. All right, here we go right here. I apologize for the delay. This was from January, February, March, April, May, June 20th of 2014.
And to state the names of different colleges and treatment centers that they thought could be used for such purposes. St. Paul's College was one of the institutions that was brought up during the discussion.
See, look at the date scrolling down below.
This was probably almost a year ago. We began calling and emailing the college, attempting to determine whether or not the college was in fact up for sale. We got no responses. And then suddenly, about 2 months ago, I get a text message from one of the brothers there in Virginia who said, Umar, the school is going up for auction next week. I couldn't believe it. I said, how can this be when we've been trying to get in contact with them for months?
Here we go with the months. Again, this was in June of 2014. So this is just a month into collecting donations. This video right here is one of the most important videos that anyone researcher would need to look at for several reasons. One of the most important reasons because it shows that Umar already had his exit strategy from St. Paul's. He had already conceptualized in his mind that he would just roll this over into another search for another property. And he takes the next almost 5 years to finally find these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. It's a long con. What's up, Pocket Watch with JT? He said, shout out to LenonHonor and all the Black content creators that have been covering Dr. Umar over the years. Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. And also, thanks for the work that you did on this. It invigorated me, man. You know, Spencer, too. It invigorated me. I needed it. Okay. I done been through the ringer with this clown. And you do fantastic work. Shout out to you and all the success. I mean, you blew up quick and you deserve it. So keep up the great work. Thanks for the super chat. If you're on a little bit later on, if you're around, I know you're busy. I'll put a link in here if you want to call. If there's anything you want to correct me on, or if you have any other insight. One of the questions that I have for you, and even if you're unable to come on now, if you want to address it like in a future video or something, or if you want to email, you can always email me. Is if in fact Umar did not have tax exempt status, and he's collecting all of this money for St. Paul's. Okay, you gave reference to the PayPal, you gave reference to the GoFundMe, then wouldn't that be considered to be personal income? And wouldn't that therefore be subject to taxation? Okay, that's a critical question in all of this. And then if you cross-reference Umar and his tax liens, I don't even know if they line up or not. It just goes to show there's so much wrapped up into this. Umar's sense of fiscal responsibility is just non-existent. But I showed this earlier. These are tax liens from 2016. And he had in the amount, and this is just the federal, $41,641. How much money would he have had to raise to have a tax lien in that amount? That's incredible. See? So Umar was rolling in some serious, he had money coming in hand over fist. And the whole tax exempt status, something else would have to have been going on by 2016. There's so many unanswered questions. Anyway, I'll have more clarity about this as I'm working through this timeline, and then and thanks for watching with JT for the super chat. I appreciate it, and all of the support too over the years. Let me show you guys something what I mean by the timeline. So this is one of the timelines that I'm working on right now, and this goes from Umar Johnson's birth in Philadelphia in 1974. It's preschool, kindergarten, first grade. I have question marks here. I think it's still Meade Elementary, but it's not very clear. There was a time where he goes to what was it? He goes to North Carolina. His father's stationed there, and while he's in North Carolina, that's where if my research is correct, that's when he has the name change, based on what Umar says. He also gives a story about he sees an A, and that's a whole nother. And then that's when Jamal marries Umar Johnson's mother. Okay, that's in 1982. Fourth grade, he goes to Meade Elementary. Fifth grade, he's at Meade. In sixth grade, he's at Meade. And this is when he was 11 years old, 1985. That's when he was told that he was related to Frederick Douglass. Okay, and I apologize. I know you guys can't see this all that well, but this to be inside, this is helping me to kind of put all the pieces together in terms of the Umar Johnson timeline. Everything up here in red is Umar Johnson's timeline, and then these two down over here. This down here is just Jamal Johnson, Umar Johnson's father, and all of his deployments. His first daughter was born in 1973. I know you can't really see it right there. See, Umar was born in 1974. Jamal Johnson, he shipped off to Paris Island, South Carolina, and then he's in North Carolina. He was a mechanic, like a technician, auto mechanic technician. He also spent time in Okinawa in 1978, in Virginia in 1979, Okinawa again in 1980. Again, he's absent. He's not in Umar Johnson's life consistently during this time. Jacksonville, North Carolina in 1982, back to Parris Island in 1982 to 1984. He was also at Quantico, Virginia in 1981, in Jacksonville, North Carolina in 1981. That's when he married Umar's mother. Okay. And then in 1984, I don't have exactly where he was at right here, but in 1985, that's when he retired from the Marines. And this coincides with Umar being told that he was related to Frederick Douglass when Umar was in the 11th, he was in the 6th grade. He was 11 years old in 1985. In 1986, he's still at Bieber Junior High. And there's some points of contention with this, but I'm going to go with 1987. At least half of that year in 8th grade, Umar was shipped off to the Scotland School for Veterans Children. And this was the same year that Jamal marries his wife that passed, rest in peace. So it's interesting that Jamal wasn't even in Umar Johnson's life consistently. And the same year that he marries another woman, and it's not Umar Johnson's mother. I don't know when they actually divorced, when Umar's mother and Jamal actually divorced. I don't have that information yet, but I'll continue to research that. But it's interesting that Jamal Johnson, if he's married to another woman at this time, for sure he's not living with Umar Johnson's mother, and Umar's living with his mother, but Jamal makes the decision to ship him off. That's what I'm saying. Something else was going on with all of this. It's not just because simply Umar Johnson wasn't Jamal felt that Umar Johnson was too close for his mother. There had to have been other stuff going on. It just doesn't make sense to ship that one child away and you're not even in that household at that time. Okay. 9th grade, he's at Scotland School for Veterans Children. 1988, he's 14 years old. 10th grade, he's there, 15 years old. 1990, 11th grade, he's still there. And then in 1991, he does his 12th grade, his senior year. He's there. He graduates in 1992, and then he starts attending college at Millersville University in 1992. Okay. And then today and yesterday, I was working on this particular timeline. He started college at Millersville in 1992. He then graduates in Millersville in 1997, the double major in psychology and political science. 1998, at the age of 24, he starts graduate school at Millersville University. In 2000, he graduated from Millersville University with a master's in school psychology. And at the same time, in 2000, at the age of 26, he started a one-year internship in Philadelphia. And then in 2001, that's when he started working in the Philadelphia School District. And he did that from 2001 to 2006. Okay, and in 2002, that's when he was put on child support for the first time when he was 28 years old. 2005, that's when he conceptualizes FDMG. Okay, and then in 2006, that's when more recent J. Moyer Academy opens. I'll be giving a timeline on that too. Okay, you see the color I put it in too. That's the color of the trap vandals. In 2008, he graduated from Lehigh University, the Master's of Education in Educational Leadership. And he also, in the same year, evidently, which is interesting, he graduated from PCOM with the Master's of Science, and that's in 2008. And then in 2009, that's when the Maurice J. Moyer Academy, the foundation fails. And I'm talking about structurally, that's when Umar was 35 years old. And look at here, in 2010, that's when Umar announces that the school will open September 11, 2013. That was in 2010. Umar was 36 years old. He's 50 now. That was in 2010. Also, he says that he starts on the lecture circuit, lecture scene. That's the Black conscious, if you will. When he was 36 years old, that was in 2010. That coincides with his announcement that the school's going to open in 2013 at the age of 36. And that's also the year that the Maurice J. Moyer Academy closes. Okay. And then Umar, he graduated from PCOM with a doctorate of psychology at society in 2012 at the age of 38. And then that's when the new J. Moyer Academy opens in 2012. Okay. Today, before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to be reading the script, and I'll record the script, and then I'll start actually working on the first part of this documentary on Umar. And it really covers this first timeline right here and this timeline. And I'll go through the whole script, and then I'll start working in Premiere Pro to start putting this all together. And this is it's a fraction of everything I'm going to get into. Because I'm going to get into the J. Moyer Academy, the history of J. Moyer Academy. I'll get into Umar in terms of prior to him starting the St. Paul's school scam, everything that goes all the way up to 2014, 2019, when he acquires his abandoned buildings in 2019. Then it's really going to get crazy when we go from 2019 to present with all the stuff that's going on with Umar. Anyway, it's a lot of work, but I'm going to stick with it. Okay. And I want to thank everyone too for your support, including you, Pocket Watcher JT. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's get back. This video right here. Just so that we can tie this together, let me see if I can skip through to find the part where Umar admits that he doesn't have tax exempt status. Here we go.
I rushed and I Leadership Academy for sure that if I couldn't raise the money, they would potentially have to sell it to someone who dollars yet. I don't variance is that I have a lot of support from people that have even ever met me, but to the campaign. You know, some of them have really reached out and very useful. Continuing to beat the street for me, and I wouldn't want to give the impression that it's anything other than that. Every is essentially goes into being a public speaker. To reciprocate, they would. And
yeah, see, back in the day, he used to sell out venues. It'd be jam-packed. Not these days. He's falling off big time.
And they have $300 donation, $1,000. I haven't had a donation more that, you know, as a feedback, just to read strong, your words and knowledge. So in this good issues in higher education, news, went to your web issues and a place honored by me. We've already received resumes for them. You know, opening my house to 30 kids of expertise, over 200 resumes, donors, win the St. Paul's campus. And these came from individuals. I've gotten a couple without no expectation of return, wants to invest in my school than what I should have gotten. The first donations are the United African or even I'm not giving any ownership. And invest, I have to be careful with that. An attorney at war, Alton Maddox, they donated. So I did receive a couple of organization checks, and I'm leaving out a few. We probably gotten about a handful of organization checks, less than what I should have gotten, because I've helped a lot of organizations out in my 15 years of speaking. I've done a lot of free work, and there's a lot of people I've really helped out who didn't donate.
Are there any types of individuals or organizations that you would not accept monies from? For example, let's say an organization wants to invest in your school, meaning that they want to perhaps
isn't going to be monetary. For people who are trying to sacrifice, we are at war as a people, and there's a war against our right off the amount that they donated or some portion. And it's going to be in seeing the next generation of African return. I'm looking for those kind of investors. That's what these donations.
Okay, here it is right here.
Have been. These are people who are investing philanthropically because their payoff for helping me isn't going to be monetarily, it's going to be spiritually. And it's going to be in seeing the next generation of African boys being properly educated and prepared for this racist society that they have to live among. So that's going to be their payoff. But someone who's looking to make money off the school, I'm not interested in that type of investment.
So those that donate to the school, are the donations tax deductible?
Not at this point.
He didn't have a plan. I told y'all. That ain't the only time he said that, too. There's other times, too. I was looking at my notes because I know I have that timestamp. By the way, that's at the 21-minute and 46-second mark, okay? 21 minutes and 46 seconds. If you guys want to find this video online, it's called Dr. Umar Johnson, FDMG Leadership Academy Fundraiser Update Number 1. Claude Parker is the uploader, and it came online. The interview was conducted June 17, 2014. Okay. So 21-minute and 46-second mark in that particular video. I have them all downloaded. So if Claude want to take it down, don't make no difference. Okay. Keith said, is it true that Lord Jamar is flying out to help decorate Umar's 200 houses for Halloween this year? Yeah, Halloween is right around the corner, right? Yeah, that was wild. If you guys have not, and I'll cover that too. In the documentary, one of the things I'll do is I'm going to put together Umar's top 5 rants, and I'll make sure that I cover them, but it's going to be within the timeline. Okay. It's not going to just, I'll show it back to back to back. You know, it'll be when they actually appear in the timeline. And that interview right there, Lord Jamar interview, that is one of the most revealing videos when it comes to the FDMG school scam. If nothing else, people should watch that and watch the whole thing too. Watch the whole thing. Now, there's other videos where Umar is ranting, just to, it kind of exposes other levels of Umar, like the emotional immaturity and the lack of composure, and the rage and the anger and the rage that comes out, and the lack of self-control, the emotional instability. All of that is present inside of the Lord Jamar interview. Okay, everyone, I would encourage everyone. I highly recommend that one. Just like I recommend Pocket Watch with JT's video. He did another video years ago breaking all of the tax situations down. Excellent. Okay, I recommend that too. But the video about the interview that Lord Jamar did with Umar is I mean, it's one of the most important things. I'm going to take quite a bit of time getting into that one inside of the documentary. Now, Lord Jamar was associated with a comedian. I can't remember his name right now, but he's funny. And the comedian was talking about how the schools, they look like haunted houses. I said the same thing before that, but he said the way he said it was like a joke. I just said it because they look like haunted houses. Okay, but he said it was absolutely hilarious, and it turned into a meme. People were talking about that for quite some time. So here we are again with Halloween coming around, and I said a long time ago, Umar, he could easily turn these into scare house, like a scare house, and charge $15, $20. He'll make a little change. Okay, 2 haunted houses. Thanks, Keith, for a super chat. And then Lewis Luck says, did you do a show on the white guy he interviewed in front of FDMG? The guy supported it too. I heard snow bunnies, but Umar is getting snow bears. I haven't covered it yet. We're behind. Tomorrow I want to do the P. Diddy. It's going to be a long live stream though, because Umar did a video where he's defending P. Diddy, and then he got huge backlash. I'll set that show up after I'm done with this live stream. He got huge backlash, and then he comes back, I think 2 days ago, and he's trying to kind of pull back on it. Like saying, "Oh, it's just a distraction." It wasn't a distraction. He was talking all that mess. That's what we'll cover tomorrow, and it's going to be a long live stream. Maybe we'll cover the guy coming up there. I think that was, and I downloaded. Umar took that off of his Instagram page too, but I have it. Maybe we'll do that on Thursday. Okay, so you guys should expect a live stream tomorrow and a live stream. It'll be a long one tomorrow. Live stream tomorrow and a live stream on Thursday, and hopefully we can get close to getting caught up. There's so much stuff though too that I'm so behind on, but I'll tell people my main focus is really getting through this documentary. And at least getting pieces put together and getting the timeline clear enough to where I have all the receipts. It's just a matter of organizing it into documentary form. And I want it to be specifically in a very carefully organized timeline. And we'll see it sequentially play itself out over time. Okay. Yeah, looks like we'll probably cover that on Thursday. I did watch the video. Normally I don't watch the videos in advance, but I had to watch that one. Okay, I'll tell you. We're gonna get to it on Thursday. I'm gonna tell you what my opinion is up right now. Okay, thanks, Lewis. Thanks, Keith, and thanks, Pocket Watch with JT. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get back to it. Pocket Watch with JT right here. Here we go.
C3 status. Apparently, Dr. Umar never gave them any information. That's why they pulled the status. Now, you should ask the question, well, JT, if they take your status, how do you get your status back? It's very simple. All you have to do is go back and give them the tax returns that you didn't give them in the first place. Not extremely hard.
Yeah, but see, Umar's not going to do that because then there's a level of accounting associated with this. See, Umar has always tried to get away from any level of transparency. So he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. See, 2014 to the beginning of 2017, he was already at $1 million. In like 2 years and 8 months, he was already at $1 million. Transparency is not the issue. He doesn't want that. That's his biggest fear. That's why the most important question that people can ask Umar is, how much money have you raised? And see, if he answered that honestly, it will blow all of this out the park, because then people realize that it is a true scam. See, the scam is the money. It's not so much the school. I talked about that to school. That's just the carrot that he dangles in front of people, and they follow along with it like a donkey. And he just keeps it right there, and they keep going. But in the meantime, they're giving him money at the same time. See, the money is the real issue. So Umar, he doesn't want to be transparent. He doesn't want to report to the IRS, because then all of that, and again, if you have tax exempt status and you have a nonprofit, then that's going to be available for the public to see, right? So he doesn't want that. He's always been like that. He's always been like that from the beginning. He didn't want to report. He didn't want to, he didn't want to pay himself. All right, this is another question I have for Pocket Watch with JT. If you have a tax exempt status, if your company or your organization has tax exempt status and you're collecting all of this money, you can pay yourself. But if you pay yourself, doesn't that money become subject to taxation? Okay, this is what I mean. This is Pocket Watch JT's his expertise. If it's subject to taxation, then there would be a level of accounting. There has to be some level of accounting for it, right? Well, that's what Umar doesn't want. And one of the reasons why he doesn't want that to take place is because he would have to be on the hook to pay those taxes. But more importantly, now child support can come in and start garnishing his wages. And Umar didn't want that either. Okay, y'all think I'm bullshitting. Hold on one second. And I don't even have all the receipts up. I just pulled up a couple of them real quick. Look at the timeline here. This is 2011 generic order. All these generic orders is where the court's trying to find Umar's income. And then we can go to 2014 right here. Order employer to modify income attachment. Order employer to terminate income attachment. Contempt petition issued against the defendant. Generic order in 2016. See, he doesn't want to report how much money. He doesn't want to pay himself out. If he pays himself, okay, and I could be wrong on this. Pocket Watch JT can answer. If he pays himself, then whatever he pays himself is going to be subject to taxation. But see, if it's subject to taxation, there's going to be a public record for it, and then the court will be able to figure out how much money Umar actually paid himself, and then now they're going to be able to garnish his wages. Order to vacate bench warrant against the defendant. Issue generic order to suspend driver's license. Okay. We've covered all this. He had, I can't even remember how many entries he had on his docket. 2 baby mamas, plus there was the state trying to figure out where his money was coming from too. Anyway, we ain't got to get into all that right now. Let's continue. Here we go.
3 years went by. He didn't give them tax returns. He didn't show where the money came from. He didn't show where the money went. So they took his 501c3 nonprofit.
So I'm trying to figure out which.
To get back in good standing, you pay a fee and you provide them the information that they were requesting. Now, is that what Dr. Umar Johnson did? Apparently not. Dr. Umar did not follow the regular steps to get your 501c3 status back. He did not provide the information that was missing. What did he do? Apparently, he just started a whole new organization.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to pay attention to the EIN numbers here, okay? The EIN number for this old organization starts with 46. This is the organization that he started, where I believe he's first started with the $250,000 or $400,000 donations, but this one is no longer in good standing. So he started this organization right here, and this one, this EIN number starts with 84. So
yeah, he's slick. He's so slick. I've told people this, I mean, years ago, that this is how Umar was able to get over this issue of not having to pay property taxes up at these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. He just set up a new EIN number he just changed the name, which isn't uncommon. That's what he did. He's so slick. See, from a business standpoint, what it does is that it puts him in a position where no one will ever know. There won't be any documentation online that will show what he reported to the IRS for the first EIN number. And Umar doesn't want people to see that. That's the scam. The money is a scam. You follow the money and you'll see how much this is just a long con. He's a scam artist. That's why he didn't go and put in the paperwork to go and get it back in good standing, the first EIN number, because all of that would have been public record. We could have pulled that up right now. We would have seen what years he had tax exempt status before it was revoked. Okay, we would be able to see how much he was bringing in. So he doesn't do that. What does he do? He's so slick. He just sets up a new EIN number. He just changed the name. And then now, as Pocket Watcher, he revealed years ago, Umar's not even, and he didn't either in 2022. Umar's not even claiming that he collected money in certain years. Well, we know that he was collecting money. See? But that's because he doesn't want it to be public record. We can go look it up and see how much money he's reporting. Understand that what he's reporting when he actually reports is not accurately reflecting how much money Umar Johnson has raised. He's a scammer. He's criminal minded that way. All the cash, you think he's reporting all the cash? Come on, cut it out. I'm going to tell him, before we get back into this, I'm going to tell y'all something. Umar doesn't even know how much money he's raised at this point. He don't even know. It's free money. I'm going to say it again. Umar, at this point today in 2014, he don't even know how much money he's raised. That's what I used to call it. I used to call it a shell company, the second EIN number. Now, I don't even know if that's the proper word because that was many years ago. That's what I call it. Because I remember people was like, no, I don't think it's a shell company just because he changed. No, and he set new EIN. But that's how I thought of it. I could be wrong on that. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Totally different organizations. They just have very similar names. And they're ran by the same person, but different organizations. Not only did the IRS kick him out of being a nonprofit because he was not providing them the information that they requested. Also, the state of Pennsylvania also kicked him out for being a nonprofit and collecting donations in the state of Pennsylvania because he did not give them the information that they were requesting. So he gets kicked out of the IRS as a nonprofit. And also the state of Pennsylvania. They said, you're not giving us the information that we're requesting. You are now in bad standing. Stop collecting money in the name of this charity because you're in bad standing. That is what that is saying. So what does Dr. Umar does? He starts this new one. We don't see RBG anywhere on the name, new EIN number. And this one is actually in good standing, okay? This one is in good standing. The reason why this one is in good standing is because this time he actually provided the numbers. All right, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over these numbers. I'm going to start taking calls.
Sort of. And he actually broke this down years ago. He did a fantastic job on that one. Shout out to Pocket Watcher JT. If you guys haven't seen that one, this was years ago. He breaks this down. But see, even still, Umar's still scamming on this, even to this day with this new EIN number.
I already see people in the back. Just hold tight. I will get to the calls. Give me 1 second, but we got to go over these numbers together. So here we go. Here are the tax returns for the nonprofit organization ran by Dr. Umar Johnson. So here we go. This is for 2022. And just to let you guys know, when I'm done with this show, you can go to my YouTube page, go to the community tab. There will be a link to my notes. So everything that I am presenting to you.
Yeah, let me go grab that link and I'll put it inside the chat room. Okay.
In this show, you can download as a PDF and you can check what I'm talking about. All right. You will have a copy of this. Just go to my community tab on YouTube, click the link, and you can download the very same PDF that I'm working off here now. But this is for 2020, all right? This is tax year 2020. In 2020, let me make this as big as possible. Just hold up tight. I want to make sure you guys can see exactly.
Okay, let me put this. This is Pocket Watcher JT, his YouTube page. I'll put it in here. It's also listed in the description for this video. And then I'll be right back. Let me go grab this other thing.
What I'm talking about here. This is tax year 2020, the very first tax return that Dr. Umar Johnson actually presented to the IRS and to the world. Okay, this is tax return for 2020. Now, this is how you basically read the 990. On the 990, it is stating that this organization, what is this organization for? You give a brief statement of what this organization is for. He is saying that this is an African-centered education for children, particularly in underprivileged communities. That is what he started this organization for. Perfect. All right. Now, it's going to ask you how many people have voting rights in your organization? It's a pretty good question. Gives the IRS and the world an idea of your board. How many people have voting rights within your organization? According to Dr. Umar, one person. Only one person has any voting rights within this organization. I'm assuming it's Dr. Umar himself.
It is.
One person has voting rights. Now, it's also asking the question, well, how many volunteers do you have? He says there's 7 people. 7 people are helping run this organization that Dr. Umar has, but only one person has voting rights. All right. Now, one of the biggest questions that everyone wanted to know, how much money did you collect? 2020. How much money did you collect, Dr. Umar? Let's take a look and see. Dr. Umar reported that in 2020, he collected absolutely no money. 0. Goose egg. Nothing. He collected no money whatsoever in 2020. Now, some people will say, well, 2020, that was during COVID. It was a hard time. It might have been a hard time. It might have been a hard time, but it seems a little suspicious. That's what I'll say. It seems a little suspicious that this man collected absolutely no money in 2020, but we have videos of him doing stuff like this.
Donations. 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 Donations.
I remember this.
Gifts.
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 More gifts.
More gifts. More gifts.
So you can understand why it seems a little suspicious that the whole entire year of 2020, he said he receives absolutely no donations or gifts in 2020. Seems a little odd to me. Seems a little odd to me. But he does say that the organization has about $572,409 worth of assets. Okay. All right. So let's take a look and see what the assets are and where he keeps these assets. So same tax return, it is showing that he had $572,409 in cash. In cash. Now, the reason why I'm grinning a little bit is that he has over $572 in cash, but he has the cash in a non-interest bearing account. What does that mean? That means he has over $500,000 of donations. Apparently, none of that was collected in 2020. All of it was collected in prior years, even though apparently this organization had no 501c3 status prior to 2020, but let's not get too deep into that. He has over $500,000 basically in a checking account, earning absolutely no interest whatsoever.
Allegedly. Okay. That's just what he's reporting. All right. Allegedly. I don't think Umar had. Well, this is back. I know that these days he ain't got no money. But anyway, let's go.
He has it in a checking account. That seems very odd. If I was advising the good doctor, I would say at bare minimum, you should put this money in some sort of high yield savings account, a money market account, earn some interest in this over $500,000. But I guess the good doctor knows a little bit better than me. He has it in a checking account. Okay. He has that much money in a checking account. Now, if you want to take a look at the staff and the key employees of this organization, there's 2. He has 2 people listed as key employees of the organization.
That's wild.
Who are these 2 people? Well, according to the tax return, it's Dr. Umar.
What's up, Seth?
And Dr. Umar. He listed himself twice.
He's the double director.
Position. You can't make this stuff up. He simply listed himself twice as a key employee of the organization. Dr. Umar, 1, director. Dr. Umar, 2, director.
That's crazy.
All right, okay. Says that he works about 60 hours a week for the organization, and
that's one of the other questions that I have that I didn't put on the thing because there's other people that's actually picked that up. One of the questions that I have is, how is it possible that you're working 60 hours a week for FDMG while you're traveling around the world and you're the primary caretaker for your mother? There's not enough hours for that. It's impossible. It's impossible. 60 hours a week? I got my regular job, my day job, and I got YouTube. And it's like a full-time and a part-time. And then that would mean I would also be traveling around the world. It don't even make no sense. Let's say if that's 60 hours, I would also have to be traveling around the world and then also be my mother's primary caretaker. And in order to be the primary caretaker, you can't be traveling all over the world. In order to be working 60 hours a week at FDMG, you can't be traveling all around the world. You guys see my point? That's another one of the questions that I had. I don't think I actually put it on my list for top 10. But the truth is that's y'all's principle. Yeah, it is. It is, Laura. It's all a bunch of BS. He's the director, the teacher, the chef, the janitor, the trap band, security, the nurse assistant. He's not the nurse. He's the nurse assistant. Okay? Because we all know that Umar, he's the gynecologist, according to Umar. He always talking about the VJJ and they need to get steamed and all this. I said, what in the world? I said, what? I thought about it. I mean, I just was thinking, like, what does that mean? Anyway, let's get back to it. Here we go.
he receives absolutely no money. No money. He does not pay himself any money from the organization. He works 60 hours a week, every week.
And he don't pay himself, but that's because he doesn't want to get the wage garnishment for the unpaid child support.
For this organization, but he doesn't pay himself. He does it all for free. All right. Seems a little odd to me. I mean, in the words of Dr. Umar, it seems a little...
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that...
Yeah, Umar, he was turning that heat down big time in this video. This when you know Umar was been turning that heat down like this.
Suspicious.
All right, but okay. I mean, maybe he knows something that I don't know. Maybe he has some source of income outside of the donations, but he works 60 hours a week and he gets no pay for that. All right, let's go to the next year. Here we go. We got 2021. Maybe things change for him in 2021. In 2021, he is saying that, hey, some money came in. All right. In 2021, he is saying that he brought in, looks like $116,585 that year. Okay, shouts out to the doctor. Over $100,000 came in that year. And he said he had expenses. His expenses were $71,412. So he had a...
Yeah, this is a good point. How is he working 60 hours a week at FDMG, traveling all around the world, and is also his mother's primary caretaker, and he spends an exuberant amount of time on social media? It's impossible. And I have videos where he says he likes to sleep and take naps and shit. I said, what kind of... Anyway, that's a good point right there.
Net income for the organization of a little over $45,000, $45,173. That's how much money came in. Net came in 2021.
What's up, Vixen?
Over $100,000 total came in. So good for the doctor.
Excuse me.
I want to show you that the cash balance of the organization went down, but I think it went down for a good reason. As you can see, he no longer has over $500,000 in cash in 2021. Okay. He no longer has over $500,000. He actually now has $213,305. Okay. So it went down. It went down a lot. It went down over a half. Now, where did the money go? Where did half the money go? Well, I have to assume that the money went here, because he's claiming now he has over $436,000 worth of real estate, which I'm assuming is the school that he bought, even though based on the video we just watched, he said he got the building back in 2019.
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
But the building, I know I'm being petty, but I want y'all to pay attention. In the video, we saw documentation of Dr. Umar claiming that he had the buildings back in 2019.
February
but
2019.
The building didn't hit his financial reports until 2021, 2 years later.
Yep.
It took him, I guess, 2 years to realize that he has to report that he's got the building. I don't.
Well, see, it could be, and I could be wrong. It could be that he's reporting it because he now, at that point, he had tax exempt status. We have to do the math, okay, to figure it out for sure, because I could be wrong on this. But the point is that why would I report this? Well, no, he would have already had it. Well, see, it don't even make no sense. He didn't have tax exempt status in 2019. He didn't get it until this for the second time. He got it in 2020, right? Yeah, but then why wouldn't he report it? Yeah, that's wild. This is new to me right here. I mean, I watched the video, but now I understand what JT is saying. This is really weird. Why doesn't he report the property, the value? Which, and I remember I actually asked that question years ago. I was like, wait a minute. No, it wasn't even years ago. No, it was years ago. I asked the question, why doesn't he have the property value on here? And that's when I was like, well, maybe he has a mortgage. I was like trying to figure that out, but it's just really weird. It just goes to show that Umar's not handling business. And there's a part of this wherein the transparency isn't there, and he's willing to not put total assets on the paperwork that should be on there, different assets that should be on there. Why would he do that though? That's what I don't understand. That it may just be on his part, just not handling business and not taking care of what needs to be taken care of in terms of paperwork. But there could be some other reason as to why he would do something like that that would be to his benefit. And I would think his financial benefit. I'm not sure. Okay. It's really, really weird.
I don't know how that happens, but 2019, he claimed he got the building, but we don't see it on the tax return until 2021. So just pay attention to that. I think that's important to focus on.
That's a good point.
Let's keep it going. All right, what else do we have here? We're gonna go from year to year. So $436,996 worth of a building. So now he has these buildings. He doesn't have a school just yet, but he has a building. Okay. All right. Now here's 2022. 2022, how much money came in? All right.
Yeah, I know it does. It does, but see, the thing is that, can I read something to you all real quick? Let me read something to you all. Over 14 years have passed since Umar Johnson made this promise, and there is still no functional school. And this is the promise that the school is going to open September 11, 2013. Over a decade has passed since Umar Johnson started raising money to purchase St. Paul's College, and there is still no functional school. Over 8 years have passed since Umar Johnson began searching for another school location, and there is still no functional school. Over 7 years have passed since Umar Johnson announced that he had collected close to $1 million, and there is still no functional school. Over 5 years have passed since Umar Johnson purchased abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, and there is still no functional school. Over 1 year has passed since Umar Johnson announced that the renovations were complete, and there is still no functional school. In fact, Umar Johnson is still renovating, which begs the question, why did he lie? The truth of the matter is that FDMG is a monolithic scam that has been fortified by decades of lies, deceit, fabricated delays, misrepresentation, manipulation, and financial cover-up. And that last part right there, financial cover-up, that's the biggest issue with all of this. And it does sound like money laundering. Him not even putting his assets, these abandoned buildings up there on the paperwork, That's in my opinion, that's a form of financial cover-up. Him putting for the fiscal year 2022 that he didn't collect any money, that's a financial cover-up. Him not telling people how much money he's raised up to this point, that's a financial cover-up. That's where the scam lies. It's in the money. And that's why Pocket Watcher JT is so important, because this is his expertise. You know, yeah, that was a huge. He made a really huge point right there, in my opinion. And that's part of the script too that I've written. I'll be doing at least a scratch, what we call scratch voiceover, hopefully tonight, and then I'll get in tomorrow, and I'll start putting in the videos and the sequence and text and all that stuff inside of Premiere Pro. Laurie, thank you so much for gifting a membership. I appreciate it. Okay, let's continue. Here we go.
Again, like I don't get it. I don't get it. How do you go from $100,000 to nothing? He is saying in this tax return that absolutely no money, not a penny, not a dime, not a dollar, no money came to his organization in 2022. It wasn't crazy. COVID. 2022, no money?
Donations.
You know, I'm going to put this in my timeline. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to outline in the documentary let me see, where can I put this? This is such a huge point right here. I'm going to outline a documentary. Let me see, how can I? Fiscal year 2020 and 2022, Umar reported no donations. There's a better word for donations that I could, no income or whatever. I'll get it from the actual paperwork. I have all that paperwork. What I'm going to do in the documentary is I'll give examples of Umar asking for and receiving donations during the fiscal years 2020 and 2021. And I think that'd be a huge thing to outline. And I'm just putting here just to remind myself when I come back to this. And then as I go through the Umar Johnson timeline, and I can prove this too. I already know that I can. It's a matter of putting together, find the videos and putting it all together. Yeah, that's a huge one. Okay, let's continue here. And if you guys are new, this is one of the timelines that I'm working. This first one's from 1973 to 1994. The top side up here, this is Umar Johnson and his schooling. Also certain specific events like when his name was changed from Jermaine Shoemake to Umar Ibn Abdullah Rashad. He has so many aliases. Anyway, and then also when he was told that he was related to Frederick Douglass, it was in 1985, he was in 6th grade. And then when he begins to attend the Scotland School for Veterans Children, all the way to where he enters into college as a freshman in 1992. And then this one right here basically goes through his college experience from 1992, when he started degrees, when he got degrees, also when he started working for the school district in Philadelphia from 2001, 2006. He also did a 1-year internship. He started conducting private work for charter schools in 2007 when he was 33, but he was already screwing up inside the Philadelphia school district. He was a troublemaker there. So he started doing private work, but he ended up getting fired. And that was one of the last times he had an actual job. He started his started really lecturing in 2010. He graduated from BCom with the Masters of Science in 2008. Also have when the J. Moore Academy opens, when it closed, and when it reopened. And then he got his doctorate degree at PCOM in 2012. Anyway, this is the timeline that I'm working on, but I'm definitely going to have this right here as an important part of the documentary. In fact, let me go ahead just so that I will remember. I'll do it like that. Okay, let's get back to the video. Hope you all enjoying the live stream here. We're pretty close to being done. I will drop a link if anyone wants to call in. We'll take a little, well, maybe not. Let me see how it goes. Because I wanted to, well, maybe I will. We'll see. All right, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Gifts, 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 more gifts, more gifts.
All right, but not in 2022, apparently. In 2022 and in 2020, he says he received absolutely no gifts, no donation, nothing, nada. Here's another thing that seems a little odd to me. Not only did he have absolutely no donations, he's also claiming that he had absolutely no expenses.
Mm.
What could that be? You own real estate. You own listen, I own real estate. There's absolutely no way that I have zero in expenses if you own real estate. At bare minimum, you have to pay for, or at least you should be paying for insurance on the property. You're telling me in 2022, after you bought these expensive buildings, you had no expenses, not a utility bill. You didn't pay for anyone to cut the grass. You didn't pay for insurance. Zero. That seems a little...
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
But okay, all right, we'll keep looking. We'll keep looking. Now, where is the money now? Right? That should be the question you should be asking. Where is the money in 2022? Now, I will absolutely give credit where credit is due. It seems to me in 2022, Dr. Umar, he heard from somebody. Somebody whispered in his ear and told him that it's absolutely ridiculous for him to have that much money sitting in a checking account.
He probably saw your video, Pocket Roger JT. I'm sure he saw your video, and that's probably why he made this change. I'm sure of it. Okay, do I know 100%? No, but I'm sure. Well, now I said I sure can't be sure. Am I 100% sure? No, but he probably saw your video.
Is to put some of this money in some kind of interest-bearing account. And he did it. It looks like he did it in 2022, because in 2022, he put $141,153 in a savings account or a money market account somewhere where he's earning interest. And now he only has about $56,000 in a checking account. Good job. Good job. You have to be responsible for this money, because this is coming from donations from people. People are donating money to you. You shouldn't have it sitting in a checking account when you could be earning interest on the money. So in 2022, somebody hipped them to the game, and
you hipped him to the game, JT. It's like when there's been plenty of times when we say, Umar, you need to do this. The next week he does it. All it says, peeps that gave to him have to ask for money back. Yeah, it's sad. I do know this, that when Umar had to GoFundMe up towards the end of that situation with GoFundMe, because they ended up shutting him down. But towards the end of all of that, they were issuing refunds. So there were people who were getting their money back because they knew that nothing was happening. It was a scam. So they complained, and there was people, they were getting checks written sent to them, and was refund checks from GoFundMe. But think of all of the tens of thousands of people. I mean, it's been a decade, so since St. Paul's, so it could be over 100,000, people who've sent this guy money over the years. $5 here, 500 here, $35 here, $20 here. Just think about all those people, literally all around the world, that sent this guy money. I'm sure that there's plenty of people that will want their money back. I'm sure, especially these days. Listen, you can't just be It's sad. What he's done it's just terrible and it's horrible, and he's done it to his own people. So it's supposed to be his own people. He don't care about black people. He don't care. All he care about is himself. I don't see how anyone can wake up in the morning and just be cool with living like that and doing people like that. And he's been doing it for over a decade. And listen, from what I'm seeing, he don't have any remorse, because if he did, he wouldn't keep doing it. And there's people, I've seen them where they post, listen, I want my $35 back. I want my $250 back, because it's been going on for such a long time. And he's still running with the scam to this day. Thanks for the super chat, Alden. It's crazy. Here we go.
He decided to actually earn some interest on this money. And of course, he still has these billings. So here we go. I'm about to take calls. We got to go over the last year, 2023. So here's 2023. All of these records are absolutely public. I understand it's easy for me because I do this all the time. I'm an actual financial advisor. It's easy for me to find these documents. But for those of you who just jumped on the live stream, at the end of the show, I will be posting a link to a PDF of my notes. You can download my notes and you can actually have on hand every single document that I just went over. We're going over this last one.
Okay, and I did post that inside of the chat room earlier. The other thing is that I have, if in the description for this video, I do have Pocket Watch with JT's YouTube page. You guys want to head over there, and if you, I would encourage you to. I mean, I don't promote people anymore, so let me not say that. I'm just gonna say, go on over there, and there is a button you can push. I'll just put it that way. And he does all kinds of, doesn't cover Umar. In fact, he hasn't covered Umar. I think the last time was a couple of years ago when he broke all this stuff down, and it went semi-viral, if not viral, in my opinion. Umar, he was shipped in, and I know he's shipped now because Pocket Watch with JT did this video, and then Spencer Cornelia did his video. So that's heavy. It's heavy. These are really, they got a lot of, Pocket Watch JT got a whole bunch of subscribers. Spencer has a whole bunch of subscribers, and Umar does not want that type of attention. But I put his YouTube page inside the description of this video, and if you go inside this community tab, you'll see his notes, and you can actually download that. I posted it earlier inside the chat room. Okay, last call says, do that damn thing, black man, black. Okay, do the damn thing, black man, black excellence. Yeah, I used to talk about this years ago with Umar, and that is that one of the disparaging aspects of all of this is how he represents black men. It's just horrible. We can even set the whole school scam aside and how Umar represents black men, how he behaves, how he talks. He's talking about sugar boxes. He's talking about crushing cookies and all this graphic sex talk. It's just horrible. And it sets a poor example for younger men to follow. And one thing I can say, last call, is that when it comes to excellence, whether it's black or not, Umar ain't it. His gift was the gift of gab, to be able to speak and to orate, but he's falling off on that too. Now he be repeating shit. He can't even stop himself. He's like a tweaker. It's about family, we gonna go down. Family, we gonna go. Family. He tricked that off too. I need you to understand and overstand and under. I need you to understand and overstand and I need you to understand and He's not even excellent at that anymore. Yelling and screaming and shit. He used to scream back in the day too. Focus. But now that's all he do. I said, boy, he was good at it though. Back in the day, he was really good. I got up and watched some older videos, but these days, see. So this is all to say that when it comes to Umar, last call, there's nothing that speaks to any level of excellence. He's not excellent in male-female relationships. He's not excellent in business management. Pocket Watch with JT, he already proved that. Umar's not excellent in organizing anything. He hasn't organized one thing. Not one thing. How you gonna collect millions of dollars, but you can't organize? He's not excellent in the community out there in Wilmington, Delaware. They don't even know him out there. He's not excellent with his advice that he gives to these parents who call in to this trifling black parent. It's trifling. Nothing that this guy, he's not even excellent at cleaning up his own room. He flipped that phone and there was filth. It looked like one of them hoarder shows. Y'all see them? I can't watch them. I can't watch them hoarder shows. I just can't. It's too much for me. Any little thing out of place, I just don't. I can't start working on nothing before stuff is clean. I kid you not. If there's just stuff over here on the desk, I say, oh, let me, If there's dishes, I got to clean them dishes before I get started on this. That's how I am. But Umar, he's not excellent when it comes to cleaning up. He's not excellent in keeping himself together, just manicuring himself, taking baths, keep himself clean. There's nothing about this guy that speaks to excellence. And I'm not saying this to demean the guy. This is a statement of fact. See? Now, what pocket watching with JT does, it's excellent. See? But Umar, how he represents black men, it's so deplorable, and it sets such a low standard and a low bar. And there are younger black men who look up to this, and it's a doggone shame. It's sad. He excellent. He loved, he excellent at scamming. Honey Pop became a member. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is, and it's extreme. Yeah. Here we go. Don't need to cut it out. All right, let's finish this up. Here we go.
Then we'll start taking calls. Here is the one for 2023.
What's up, Sigmund?
The most recent year. So what happened in 2023? So in 2023, I don't know what happened, but it looks like he has no staff whatsoever. In the past, he used to list 7 people as volunteers. This year, he has 0 volunteers. I don't know what happened in 2023. I don't know if he got people upset. People ran away. He didn't listen to his helpers. But this year, he says he has absolutely no volunteers whatsoever. I think it's an error. Whoever's preparing these tax returns have no idea what they're doing, because they're also saying that nobody in the organization has voting rights.
There we go.
Listen, Umar, real talk. Umar, listen. You do not have to hire me. I'm not suggesting that you hire the pocket watcher, but you need to talk to some qualified, some certified professional to help you prepare these tax returns, because they're laughable. There's so many errors in these things. It's ridiculous. You're telling me that no one has voting power in your organization for 2023. That's what this is saying. No one has any voting power and there's no volunteers. All right, but how much money came in? He says that $204,822 came in this year. All right, you went from 0 to hero, no money, to $204,000. Big shout out. That is much, much better than the 0, the goose egg that you said last year. Where's the money at now? Okay, it looks like he has the same money in the money market account, but it didn't go up by much. But he has about $141,229 in the savings account. He has $62,755 in the checking account.
What's up, Jim?
No year is he claiming that he's getting paid any money whatsoever. Okay. He's not getting paid any money whatsoever. But here's the issue again. Once again, in 2023, he's claiming he had absolutely no expenses. No expenses. You brought in $204,822. Okay? $204,822 of donations. And you had 0 expenses for the whole year. When you own real estate, real estate. How can you have? I just don't. Maybe you guys on the phone line, maybe I can let me know. But how can you go a whole year working 60 hours a week? All right. You go a whole year with no expenses to the organization that owns real estate. Now, I'm aware if you're a nonprofit, you don't have to pay for taxes. I get that. But you still have to pay for insurance. You still have to pay for utilities.
Yeah, but who's going to insure these dilapidated buildings that are still on the vacant property list? And if some company decided to, you know how expensive that would have to be per month? See, and I don't know this, but we would have to find out whether or not by law you have to have insurance for a building like this, even if it's unoccupied and it's on the vacant property list. I just find it would be the insurance would be. Listen, it's not just the small building or the small gym, it's the other side of the street too. That would also have to be. You know, the year prior to Umar purchasing these abandoned buildings, Wilmington, Delaware was ranked 6th or 7th. I'll say 7th. 7th on the list of most violent cities in the United States of America per capita. And that's right there in the hood. Drug addicts. You guys know that part of the reason why a fence was erected up there more recently was because there were homeless people sleeping on the grass. It's a hazard. I have a video where there was a homeless woman sleeping on the actual steps leading up to the door for one of these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. You got boarded up windows. You got mold on the walls. It's horrible. There's foundation issues. What reputable company is going to say, yeah, we'll go ahead and insure this? Drug addicts all over the place. And if they did, if a company decided to, I can only imagine how much it would cost per month. It would be crazy.
Like, I don't get, to me, there's got to be some errors here. All right. But here we are. These are the tax returns for Dr. Umar and the Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass Academy. I honestly believe that this is I think it's a mismanagement of the funds. I don't think he knows what he's doing. He very well may be a very great educator, but he doesn't know what he's doing with this money. The IRS has already revoked his 501c3 status before. The state of Pennsylvania has already revoked his 501c3 status before. And if he continues down the track that he's going and he ever gets audited, I think his 501c3 status will get revoked again. All right. But maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. So I've got many, many callers back here. I'm going to get to each and every one of the callers. So here are the instructions for the callers. And when I come back, we'll start taking calls. Here we go.
All right. So you guys, when you have some time, head on over to Pocket Watching with JT. I have his YouTube page listed in the description of this video. I also have Spencer's Cornelia. He is. He's been very gracious. He is. And he did a fantastic job too with the callers. We won't get into that. I want to close the show out. But he has patience. I just don't have it. I used to have it, but I don't have patience. I've been at it too long and dealing with Umar Johnson fathers. Boy, I just but he has patience. Okay. If Pocket Watcher, if you're still here and you want to call in, you're welcome to do so. He's being very gracious. If not, that's okay. I can take maybe 3 callers. Okay, if anyone wants to call in, that's fine. I want to get to this real quick before we close out the show. Jessica said Moyer Academy Theophilus Gregory was found guilty of the charge in November after being accused of using his government position to secure a city grant for himself in a nonprofit he founded. But I think this is from years ago, right? I don't think this is recent because I think I remember because there were also scandals associated with the J. Moyer Academy from way back. Let me see, because I think because I remember this name. It was an interesting first name. I could be wrong though. Let me see. No. I remember this guy. He's in one of the videos in the video sequence that I have for the documentary. He's in one of the videos and he's talking about the Moyer Academy. I'll have it. I've played it in the past, but I do have a sequence where I actually get into the timeline with I'll say Jay Morrison, the J. Moyer Academy. Okay. All right. I just want to address that. I thought I remember seeing that from years ago. Yeah, there's no way of telling. There's no way of telling. Someone said, Lenon, can you explain if I'm reading the taxes wrong? In 2022, he reported 0. Then in 2023, race returns, it says year prior. And it's, I think you mean, yeah. I noticed that too. It's just a discrepancy. So in one year, it'll say it'll say he collected no money, and then the following year when he puts on there how much he collects for that year, he'll put a certain amount, and then there's a little column where it says how much did you collect in the previous year. He'll actually have a number. That's what I'm saying. There's so many issues with all of this. There's so many issues with all this, and I don't have an answer. I really don't have an answer. The only thing I could think of is that maybe he didn't report for, let's say, 2022. And so in 2023, he makes up to it by reporting what he collected in 2023 and 2022. I don't know, though. That's my speculation. I don't even know if that's illegal to do something like that. Pocket Watcher with JT would know for sure. Okay. All right. Yeah. And again, we would have to find out for sure. But I do know this. If they actually insured those buildings, the amount that Umar will be paying per month would be astronomical. Astronomical. Okay, I didn't get any callers. That's fine, and I don't think Pocket Watcher JT is here anymore. That's fine too. I want to thank Pocket Watcher with JT. Give him a shout out for the video that he did. Also want to give a shout out to Spencer Cornelia for doing the video that he did as well. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll start coverage with the P Diddy. Umar did a video where he's defending P Diddy, and he got a huge backlash from that. And then a couple of days later, he comes back and he talks about how it's all the distraction. But that's because he got so much backlash and he didn't want to have to deal with it. Okay, he's always been like that. Okay. Thank you all so much for tuning on in. Let me go back to this poll. If you haven't voted, go ahead and get your vote in. Wow, we did this under 2 hours. I was trying to see if we can get this done in 2 hours a day. Looks like we're gonna get it done. The question for today for the poll was, when did Umar Johnson first conceptualize FDMG? 65% say 2005, 23% say 2010, 9% say 2014, and 3% say 2019. There's been 918 votes so far. I'll tell you guys what the answer is. Umar Johnson, he conceptualized FDMG in 2005. He actually says, I conceptualized it in 2005, but it was a little bit before that. We could say that it was 2014, but I'm just going to say 2005, which basically means that it's been close to 20 years now since all of this. Now, what many people don't know is that the conceptualization of FDMG and Umar in his adulthood is really a reflection of his experiences at, I always forget the names, the Scotland School for Veterans Children, where he was put in. He was shipped away there by his father in 2000. Excuse me, I might have the wrong one up. In 1987, 88-ish, when Umar was in the 8th grade, he was about 13 years old, and he shipped him off. And his whole idea about having a boarding school comes from the Scotland School for Veterans Children, because that was a boarding school. It was also military. They had a JROTC there, and Umar gives these stories about shooting guns and being taught how to shoot guns and all this stuff. I have all this inside the documentary, but this is really, in his early life, the formulation of this school, this type of a school. And he just, all these years later, I mean, that was in 1987, we're in 2024. 37 years later, and he's basically trying to represent this in this form and scam them the whole way through. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning on in to the live stream. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you haven't hit the like button, please, I want to encourage you to do that. Also, thanks to everyone who sent in super chats today. I appreciate it. Also, thanks to the mods for handling business. I know it was a shorter show, but we're going to get back here tomorrow and get into it. We got a lot to get into tomorrow. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. And as we always,
thank you. Thank you so much. So much. No. We all finished here today.
We finished today.
We are going to thank Dr.
Queen Mother, I got to give my quote from Frederick Douglass.
Go right ahead with Frederick Douglass. I'm sure that he would love to be quoted.
All right.
Thank you so much. Go right ahead.
All right. Don't disrespect me, Queen Mother.
No disrespect.
All right.
No disrespect.
Don't do that now, because I respect you as an elder.
We're calling on the ancestors to be here with us today.
Let's be respectful.
Go right ahead.
Frederick Douglass said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.